So the names on the side, they don't just say their names. It's operated and maintained by
Ooh.
That's a
X
good
operator.
idea. That's a
So-
good
what it
idea.
says on all of them,
Yes, every
That's a
machine that
good
has a dedicated
idea.
operator. So I would say more than half of our fleet.
There's points probably 100 times, 1,000 times with you, with Missy, and all of us that you thought, okay, this is too much, this is too hard. And usually it's late at night, like 1 a.m, where you're just talking to your spouse or somebody. You're like, I'm done. And you can either choose in that moment that you're going to give up, or you're going to choose to keep pushing and to keep moving on.
I take on the responsibility of the chest pain of, do we have enough work to feed the mouths of 34 people and their families? Well, the why was to survive in the beginning.
From the outside looking in, I get my work ethic from my dad. I admire hard work because of the way my mom reacted when my dad would get home late.
Yeah, that was tough.
All right, thank you, everyone. We're back for episode 4, which is the final episode of this series over here at ConExpo. And I'm going to go around the room. Everyone can introduce themselves. I might start with you over this side today. I've started on the other side every other day.
Perfect. I'm Devin Dyer. I have an excavation company that we do semi-heavy civil construction, and we do all sorts of whatever it takes that uses a trackhoe dozer loader. And we have a Dirt Gear co-brand that is kind of like a positive community for people in the dirt business. And we've done the one for 20 years and the other for probably 5.
Perfect.
Nice. My name is Matt Stanley, based out of Danbury, Connecticut. We're about an hour outside New York City. Family's business is called American Pavement Specialists. Mom and dad are owners, 4 boys all involved. I'm the youngest of 4 boys. We primarily do paving and milling, heavy commercial, municipality work, and I also own a brand called Raised on Blacktop. Like Devin, started about 5 years ago. My North Star is family business. We do collaborations with manufacturers, so I'm trying to create a performance brand in paving. So much like a Shelby Mustang or AMG Mercedes, I want Raised on Blacktop to be the premier performance brand.
Bad.
Not to interrupt the flow of this, but I did see one of the cross hats today in
Yes.
public, and
It's
I was like,
awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
That's-
on the
and I
floor?
had that thought of like, what a great brand
Yeah.
image that is
Thank
for
you.
me to immediately recognize what that is.
Thank you.
Already got a little tick there. Okay,
Yep.
let's see if you can get a tick from the room, Eric.
I will not. I'm the dumbest guy in the room,
Not
as
true.
usual. So my name is Eric Jumper, based out of the Lehigh Valley of Pennsylvania. Most notably known as a social media influencer. Haven't figured out a better way to brand that one or spin that one yet. But I'm also the MRT manager of Mushlets Excavating, as well as an estimator for Stealth Clearing and Demolition, which is the sister company to Mushlets. We do heavy civil site. We're a 200 employee company. Do a lot of land clearing, heavy industrial demolition, things like that.
Perfect. And last but not least in the corner.
My name is Missy Scherber, alongside my husband, Trevor. We own a heavy civil business in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as well as a waste management company. We've had like the most humbling experience growing it from the 2 of us to almost 40 people this year. And I literally pinched myself. Like, I can't believe putting our nose to the grindstone of what we've been able to build for the families that work for our business. So I'm really grateful to be here.
Perfect. And how's everyone's ConExpo been? I know you just flew in today.
It's been perfect. It's been amazing. It's been so good. It's the best one I ever had.
Perfect. When did you
Yeah.
fly out?
I fly out at 10:20 tonight. I have a spot in my bed waiting for me. Like where I sleep, there's a perfectly carved place where my body goes, and it's
Amazing.
waiting for me to climb back in it tonight. And I will be sleeping so good while the rest of you are staring at the ceiling and waiting 2, 3, 4 hours to fall asleep in a hotel room.
Beautiful.
So I couldn't be happier.
What about everyone else's who didn't actually make a 12-hour trip into Las Vegas for it?
Yeah, my experience has been great so far. The weather is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
So it's cold back home, so this is cool. I was telling these guys, my
Yeah.
family's been here since Monday, So we're shooting this. It's Thursday,
Yeah,
right? Thursday.
You've had a Las Vegas week. You have.
So they left this morning. So they had 2 full days here, and I think that was enough. And I decided to stay till Sunday. Big UFC fight this weekend. I'm a big UFC fan, so I figured I'm in Vegas. I gotta go. So
Nice. Mine's been all right. This has been the least eventful ConExpo. Last time I was here for 9 days because we were shooting the setup and the takedown of the show. And we got in yesterday. We're going to leave Saturday at like 6 a.m. It's more than enough time.
It's so, if you actually want to go and see it all,
Yeah.
like, you need the full time. But yeah, I don't know if your feet can handle it. I don't know if my attention span's got it to really be looking around everywhere either.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to pick and choose what you
Well,
want
it's
to
tough because like you're trying to look at all this stuff, but then also you're running into so many people that you know,
mm-hmm.
and every 5 minutes
Yeah,
you're
but
having a new
you're
conversation.
real famous. Like,
Yeah.
It's like you
No,
and Matt
I don't
are like,
even-
you a little bit too.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
real famous.
I think I ran into one person I knew, and they were
How
really
many
nice to
knew
me.
you though?
That one person, they're like, "Oh, hey, Devin Dyer," and it was on my tag, so
Yeah.
they knew who I was.
I guess. Yeah, I know a couple people.
You know one or two.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
We've had the best experience because we brought our foremen. So it's like been a decade-long dream to like bring our people. So the 4 foremen that we brought are like loving this. They are walking every aisle of every showroom. So I was so excited to experience that with them. It's been really cool. But then today I was like, what were we thinking? Their wish list right now and what they want to buy
Yeah.
and what we suddenly need. Like I am definitely not getting a new sofa this year. Like it shouldn't.
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day,
the
also
budget's
it's like,
gone.
like you did the job for so long without it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
now all of a sudden
Yeah,
you
we-
have to.
Yeah.
Water
One of the way
trucks,
that
trailers.
I say is
Yeah.
like everyone now needs an Encon to dig a basement, but they used to be dug with a track loader.
Yeah.
You know, and still can be.
We
quite
still
well.
dig a lot
Yeah.
without an Encon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
I feel like you kind of have to where you're at. It's tough to dig where you're at with,
said with
a
or
tool
without?
like that.
without. So I don't want to go off topic, but I have people ask me all the time, should I get an Encon? And I'm like, okay, if you have a list of 20 things that you need, and an Encon's going to cost you $80,000, how high on the list is that Encon? Is that number one? Like for me, with $80,000, I would rather go put a pup behind a dump truck and get more dirt off a job. I don't know. I think they're awesome. We have one, and if I could afford to put one on every machine, I would. But the bottom line is, I have a long list of things I want, and that doesn't get very high on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're awesome.
The
I think
bottom
they're
line is the
amazing.
bottom line.
Real
Yeah.
wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
They're not high on my list for the work that we do. They just don't work.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
they remove breakout force. You know, with the way that my company's structured, we don't have dedicated machines for dedicated operators. We, you know, whether you have inductions that need to be done, so or at a machine size that needs to be delivered, or you have sides of the city like we're quite for how far we drive.
Mhm.
You know, you're not going to have this guy going 100 miles that way and this person going 100 miles that way when you could just swap the machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then every time you're trying to teach these people how to use an Encon all the time,
Yeah.
you know, you can't send different low boys to pick them up, you know,
Yeah.
because they destroy them. You have to have the guy trained on how to low boy.
So like what's interesting about us is, so our company is very big on one machine, one man. So like most, I'd say 60% of our fleet has the operator's name on the door.
That's cool.
So like
Sick.
our 395 has only ever had 2 operators its entire lifespan. And the only reason it has 2 is because the one moved up to a superintendent's position. So he's like running the job now. So realistically, we could actually have an Encon because most companies of that size don't run specialty tools like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The reason that like we probably will never own one is because if I can fit the majority of what I would use that tool for is like topsoil behind curbs because we do a lot of warehouses and commercial work, or just like regrading an area. If I can fit a skid steer or a D3 where that machine is going to be working, then why would I put an Encon there? Because it's going to be
I think
way
that
slower.
they really they're very versatile. However, for the smaller companies, 1, 2, 3 guys, 5, even up to 5 guys, like
I hear John Deere in my ear. He's telling me NCons are great. I don't remember life without them. They're the best.
Well, I will
got
tell
it.
you, I will tell you this: for utility work, you can't beat them. And most of the utility work that we do, like when we're doing a lot of heavy work in the road, we use hydrovac trucks.
Yeah.
And we used to use our Encon for all that stuff. And the one machine that we did get with an Encon, anytime there was a technical tough job, they always brought that machine to the job. And the reality is that machine doesn't ever sit. It's actually awesome, but it's we're not like you guys. We're like you. I always have people say, "Oh, you need to have a designated machine." We have a crap load of track hose. My problem is I'm always bouncing machines around because as soon as the machine is freed up, I have a low boy there and it's moving it to the next job. And I'm not going to wait for that operator to go run that machine. That machine's going somewhere. And if that operator's doing something else. So that's not ever worked for us. We throw whoever in whatever machine's available.
It's so interesting because it is very different. But with trucks, I do the same. Like trucks have a driver.
Yeah.
But I will, especially if we run night shift or whatever, there's no chance that. So I know companies that'll park it up and not send it out at night time, or if someone's off or sick, they'll be like, oh no, you can't drive Dave's truck. Well, yeah, we can drive Dave's trucks going to work.
They're Jimmy's trucks. I always remind my drivers, it's my truck.
Yeah.
We actually have that truck right now that stays parked. Because if there's two drivers now that's a little different. We have some new Peterbilts and I don't just let any of my drivers drive them because I know which drivers beat the crowd out of their trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I know which driver that's going to have a ding on the side of it because he didn't pay attention. A lot of what we do, like I've seen you guys' trucks and it seems like your trucks are really clean. Jimmy's trucks probably has some more like mine, where when you're loading them,
That was kind, Devin.
it gets a little rough though, doesn't it?
Asphalt's dirty,
Yeah.
but it's not. Our bodies don't get banged up with concrete and rocks.
Yeah,
So I know what you're saying.
I have a couple of trucks that we just haul from the pits to jobs. And the other day, a guy sent me a picture of a great big chunk of concrete, and they were hauling off on a job, and he put it in our dirt truck. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" So
I'm glad to see that that's a worldwide problem where you just look at it and go, gosh.
Here's the deal. He couldn't tell it wasn't the rock bed. Everybody can tell that it's the rock bed, but the one guy, and he put it right in the back of a brand new Peterbilt that's only for dirt and gravel.
What about you, Missy? Do you have dedicated machines for dedicated operators and your trucks and everything else, or?
Oh yeah.
You
On
do?
the waste for the dumpster business, we have a driver dedicated to a truck. So we have 5 Peterbilts. Each driver comes in every day and it's their truck. Like truck 3, belongs to Josh and that's his truck and nobody touches it. On the roll-off side, on the excavation side, we have guys pretty dedicated to the machines, but they're also hopping around. Like if we're doing a residential development, Wade, our grading foreman, is going to be maybe hopping from the dozer to the excavator, kind of moving around a little bit. But we have 3 machines with their names on them, like
And do
T-Bone,
other people jump in them?
Bird, like they have their nicknames on.
It's like a fighter jet.
Yeah, it's like kind of cool.
I would say a good thing about having operators in the same equipment or the same trucks is like they know the quirks of the truck or machine.
Yeah.
And then like at the end of the day, we hope everyone's greasing equipment and keeping up on the maintenance. But like we know that Jimmy drives truck 4, whatever, and like make sure that the machine is greased.
Yeah, Jimmy didn't grease nothing.
Well, if we're doing a DOT
Jimmy
job,
always greases our paper. Shout out Jimmy.
If we're doing a DOT job, we're on a pipe job for the year. So it's the same machine, it's the same people every day. So,
and I do think for accountability, that is really, really good because what happens when you have other guys climbing in and out, we have some guys that are really good at blaming others. And we do have a policy that if you damage equipment for us and you don't call me the second it happens, you're just automatically fired. So there are no surprises. So accountability, I think, is better if you have one guy because you know who damaged it. But sometimes we have different guys jumping back and forth.
We had a real low point once. So all the workload in Australia and Victoria, my state, exploded, and we were able to keep everyone busy on the jobs that they wanted to be on and everything else. And that sort of dropped off a little bit. We lost some operators. I'd also stacked more people into the office so that we had a little bit less accountability across the board. The machine level dropped. And so we've been trying to pick it back up for probably 18 months now. You know, how clean they are, the service of them, you know, getting on top of all of the niggly maintenance, you know, that little shit stuff that sort of goes past sometimes, especially if operators are jumping in and out.
Yeah.
That's where the little stuff is what's missed when the operators are jumping in and out. And so now we're trying to do it as a collective.
Yeah.
All of the
It's a
operators
culture
together.
thing.
It's a culture thing.
So the names on the side, they don't just say their names. It's operated and maintained by
Ooh.
That's a
X
good
operator.
idea. It's a
Is that what
good
it
idea.
says on all of them?
Yes, every
That's a
machine that has a
good
dedicated
idea.
operator. So I would say more than half of our fleet, even haul trucks, we have names on.
That's cool.
So, and what that does is it creates the ownership level
Mhm.
of the machine,
Mhm.
and it's the pride of like, this is my thing. And something we've got, going back to the greasing thing, something we've gone back and forth on very lately. So like even today, we were looking at the lube trucks. So we have right now we have just a fuel truck. So we have a triaxle 3,000 gallon fuel truck. He'll go around at night and fill up all the machines, but it's not a lube truck. It's just fuel. All of the guys, all the operators, they're maintaining and lubing and cleaning all of their own equipment. And the reason we don't, so like companies past that I've worked for, we've had lube trucks where the operator wasn't responsible for his own greasing. The lube truck would come during the day, fuel you, grease you, leave. And what that does is it creates like this level of neglect where the guys are like, well, he'll just do it. I don't have to take care of that. And the other part of it is the walkarounds. Like you having to manually get out and grease your own machine every day, you have to get out, walk the whole perimeter of the machine. Even if you aren't good at doing a walk around, if you're greasing, you're still getting out to look at all that stuff.
We got all of the operators to like this is recently this year. We got them all in, and we actually got them to do a pre-start, and we did some things to machines to see if they would actually find them in the pre-start, all of them together. Because how many of those things, like we all use pre-start,
avoidable, right?
and they are mostly rubbish.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right back end for it, it's mostly rubbish. You know,
Damn, that's a
you
good
have to follow up on them because that's from our perspective. We had guys writing down every day for probably 3 months. This is a few years ago when the quality dropped. For 3 months, windscreen wiper broken. And if we don't do anything about it, then they're not going to write it down anymore.
Yeah.
And then the pre-start, they're just walking up to the machine, ticking and flicking. And then it's all that. So it's a big, who was the one that said culture thing? I think it was
It's
you.
a culture thing.
Yeah, it's a culture thing, but it's a culture thing from the people in the office, from the maintenance staff, from the guys greasing.
You can't have that disconnect in the
No.
field and office. I've been at companies and I've like from like in the media world, I've been like a fly on the wall. Dude, there's so many companies that just like the office has no idea what the field does.
It's unacceptable.
And it's like there's it's two completely different companies. They operate totally separately. It's wild.
So
Culture's a
who is
huge
the
thing.
first person I'm going to ask the questions to? Who takes first question?
I'll take the first one
Now,
since I got a speech prepared.
I hope that you do have a speech prepared. You ready, Devin?
Yeah, I will tell you, I would have rather not known because I would have rather just
Off the cuff.
But it's good that I know now
this
because
better be
it's
good.
helped me to find myself. Yeah, it's good.
Wow, I don't know, so I
It's
can't
good.
find myself.
So
I'll
the
help
amount
you.
of, but we
Okay.
sent out everyone's questions a month ago,
Yeah,
and then we sent them, and I re-followed them up like 2 weeks
Yeah.
or a week ago,
Yeah.
and then Missy walked in today and said, "You never sent me a question."
so this is like dealing with employees too. It's good little team
Yeah.
building type thing. See
You
how things
started
get
out
done.
in
Devin,
construction
thank you.
on the tools and ended up making a clothing brand. What does Dirt Gear Co. represent to you, and what does that actually mean?
So what's interesting is for me, and you're going to talk about what you're doing with your raised on blacktop, but I think it's interesting that they said it's a clothing brand because I don't see it as a clothing brand at all. And I'll get into it, but for me, it's just more of it's a community is what Dirt Gear Co. is, and so for me. I believe that all of us, especially people in business, anybody that's working in any form of trying to support your family, we all go through something that's extremely hard and difficult. I mean, obviously talking to you with your mom and dad, and there's always a point in everything you're doing. Like, even I've seen what you've done, that there's points probably 100 times, 1,000 times with you, with Missy and all of us, that you thought, okay, this is too much. This is too hard. And usually it's late at night, like 1 a.m, where you're just talking to your spouse or somebody. You're like, I'm done. And you can either choose in that moment that you're going to give up, or you're going to choose to keep pushing and to keep moving on. So that's what started it. I remember in 2008, I don't, how many people were in business in 2008? Anybody?
Yeah.
Were
I
you?
just started. Yeah.
So
I
2008,
think it was 2007 or 8 was my first year.
horrible here in the States. So in 2008, I kind of thought I had business figured out. And then I had about $500,000 in accounts receivable. And I'm not a big company. I never have been, still not in my dirt business. So one by one, I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but the banks started closing loans. I didn't know you could do that. So the draws that we had turned in, the banks just shut the loan down and we never got paid. And so in 2008, I had a whole bunch of different companies file bankruptcy against me. I had vendors calling me because we'd used their product on our jobs. I had American Express, which we used about $80,000 a month on, calling me wanting to get paid. I had no money. And in 2008, I had to decide whether I was going to give up or if I was going to keep pushing. And what it taught me was, no matter how ugly it is, and anybody that's been in business, I don't know what your experience is where your mom and dad, but you've seen it. You've been in business where I think I've seen things where people owed you like $1 million, or I don't know how much, you don't know.
Yeah.
And you're just scared to death. What do? But what it teaches you is, if you keep pushing forward, you're going to make it through. It doesn't matter what it is. And so what I've learned, and being a business owner, is that I'm extremely passionate about getting myself in a really sticky, scary situation and doing things that are beyond my capability, and doing more, buying more trucks, buying more equipment, buying equipment when everybody else is selling. I know that if I keep pushing, that no matter what, I'm going to make it through. It doesn't matter what it is, I'm going to keep pushing. So for me, it's become more of a personal mantra, and even business wise, it's a battle cry that if you go look at my dump trucks, my dozers, my loaders, it all has keep pushing on the windows everywhere. And it's for me. It's so that I know, no matter how bad things are, no matter what's going on, no matter how crappy the phone call is, I just have to look up and know, okay, keep pushing and you're going to make it. And nobody can beat me because I'm not going to stop. So for me, the Dirt Gear Co. brand is for anybody who's been through some really, really hard crap and they keep pushing. And honestly, if it's somebody who quits easily and you give up when things are hard, you won't get it, and it's okay. And we don't want you wearing dirt gear because you're a
not our
sissy.
customer.
Yeah, like look, if you're doing something hard and it gets too hard and you give up and you're wearing dirt gear, we just want you to send it back.
Yeah.
Like,
Please do.
Can
Don't-
I have the money back?
don't rep us. Yeah, we will 100% give you a
Wow.
100%.
100%
that.
not
I love
transfer
that.
you the money back minus postage and handling.
So it's selfish. It's for me. It's for me. It's pretty hard too to own a brand that the mantra is keep pushing and then me give up.
Yeah.
And when things are hard, and things are hard all the time. I mean, in business, like for you right now, are you feeling comfortable today? Like, do you feel like you're winning?
Did you see when I was walking in? I've got a phone stuck to the side of my head. I'm having problems back at home.
Yeah.
Walking around.
But are you
Right.
going to be a sissy about it? No, you're going to keep pushing
No, I
and
just
deal
need to
with it.
quickly do this podcast before
Yeah.
I go back and crawl
This is
up
the last
someone's phone
Yeah.
after I finish.
Yeah, see? So you'll push through this and get there. So for me, that's what it is. It's a community of people that just bear down and
And
make
he
it
said
happen.
he wasn't happy with not knowing knowing the question before he came.
Hey,
Listen to him.
Did you come up with keep pushing first and then Dirt Gear Co?
Yeah, I've always had, for me, I mean, I've been in some like horrible, dumb situations where when I started my business, I started from nothing. I didn't work for anybody. I didn't learn how not to do things. Everything I do is me screwing up and being like, oh, that was stupid. So it's all I've got. Like, unlike Jimmy, I did not get good grades in school. My grades in school were like D's and F's. Like, I hated
There's
school.
a letter in between. You also get E.
An A?
E. Not
Oh, there's an E? No,
Americans
no,
can't
no.
understand.
Effort.
No, there was an N for needs improvement, but for me,
I
it's
never
been a
realized that.
struggle.
Wow.
So-
I never realized that.
People can get E's.
E's.
You didn't get E's in high
C, D,
school?
E, F. Wow.
I got E's all the time. E for Eric.
Oh yeah, is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Anyway.
what it is for me. It's
We should stop recording because I don't think I'm going to be able to top. I didn't know it's going to be
Yeah,
able to top.
no.
We-
I
But-
shouldn't
Oh,
have
we got to
started
keep
with
pushing,
you.
Eric.
no. Let me tell
keep
you
pushing.
what it did. I always wonder what it means because people ask me, they're like, "Oh, what's up with this?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's not a big deal. Like for me, it's not. I just do it. I put it on some t-shirts. I wear it. I go to work. And when things are hard, I'm like, okay, don't be a wuss. Keep pushing. But when you sent me the question, I had to dig deep and say, okay, what is this? What's really going on? And I actually appreciate it because I think it's given me a lot of clarity.
We sat down and me and Louis, like it took us a fair amount of time. We researched everyone and looked into it.
Yeah.
And, for everyone's questions to try and make them not so much yours, Eric. We just quickly.
Can't wait to know what it is.
Did you
Jimmy,
not get the email?
I did. I even read it. So I know what it is. I just can't remember. So you're getting a fresh slate out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
this has been life-changing for me. So thank you for putting so
Wow.
much effort into it. And thanks for putting this together. Like this,
Yeah.
I know how much work it is to put together a podcast. And the reason I don't put out a podcast all the time is because I know how much work it takes.
Yeah.
Like, and you're in the middle of it and you're like, oh, crud, okay,
We're
I got to get a
releasing
podcast
daily
out.
as well.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's
So
plus
thank
you
you.
get all of the clips and all of the questions
Yeah.
and everything else, and then group discussion. Like I sat down on the first day and I'm like, how do I get a group discussion? Like, what do we all got to talk about?
This is the best setup you could have ever done.
Yeah,
Like this
sure.
is amazing.
In my hotel room.
Yes.
Did anyone see what Aaron put online about my hotel room today? Did anyone? No.
Some
Okay.
smart remark.
Yeah, it's some smart remark. Correct.
Shocker.
Because he came in here. He was on Monday. And I don't mind but Americans, I had people saying to me, so he put on a thing, he's like, that's where Jimmy's staying up the very top. He's got a revolving bed and he drinks champagne and someone feeds him grapes. And then I'm walking through
Is that not true?
We're walking through the expo today and someone's like, do you really have the penthouse
Yeah.
at the Wynn?
I would totally believe that if he said that. So off topic, but today I was coming around the corner and I had just had lunch and I was going back to the group, and Aaron and Colby from Field Photo were standing there talking, and I just put a piece of gum in my mouth and I did 2 bites and my tooth broke. In the moment that I had spotted those 2, and I walk up to him like, "Hey, what's up? My tooth just shattered in my mouth. I'm spitting out pieces of tooth." So that was how my afternoon went.
Perfect.
I'm in a lot of pain right now.
I believe dentistry is expensive.
Chip
Yeah, it
tooths
is.
are in right now.
What's
You know
that?
Chip tooths are in right now after
I
the
might just
USA
grab a
hockey.
pair of pliers later and pull it out.
Oh, we had some guy from Canada on yesterday. I didn't even know that America had won the hockey.
Yeah, it's a
But
pretty big deal.
It's a big deal.
Oh, was
He
he
w-
depressed?
He was a bit sad.
was it?
and,
Was it Mac?
Shamrock. Sean.
Oh, Shamrock?
Yeah.
Oh, he was probably depressed.
He is a little bit. I didn't know hockey was a big deal.
We don't care.
Everything's a big deal in the USA when you win.
Yeah.
It wasn't until they
Is
won.
that because you didn't win no medals at the Olympics and you had to just jump on the
I
bandwagon?
think it's
for what you
because
did?
you know about the Miracle on Ice,
Huh?
1980 when they beat the
Yeah,
Soviet
it's
Union.
a really big deal.
Yeah,
100%.
and that
We had dinner with Wayne Gretzky last night.
really,
Yeah.
wow.
Not with him, but
Why
he was
don't
at the
you
table
text
next
all
door.
of us?
You're
Yeah.
you're living a dream
thought we were
of shattering a
friends.
tooth, Wayne
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gretzky.
It's been a week,
Do
dude.
they don't play hockey in Australia?
I mean, I just
You
I
don't
thought
know
it was
Wayne
an
Gretzky
amazing
is?
It doesn't
story.
snow. Like there is no snow. Like it's been a big theme that's ran through
So
all
you're
podcasts
saying
this week.
you didn't have a team at the Olympics this year? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think we did. And if we did, we definitely would have won.
They would have been better if you had snow and they could have practiced.
Yes, but I believe that we won some of the most medals per capita compared to
Nice.
America and whatever else. I have some questions for everyone here.
Can
That was
I
great,
say,
though.
Yes,
was
I
really great.
loved Devin's what you said about it, and there's nothing more relatable to a business owner than to keep pushing.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
it's just like the chest pains and the ebbs and flows and the good days and the bad days. It's just
Yeah.
constant. It's never ending. And so you have that in your mind of like, it's how you win. It's you keep pushing, you keep your head down, you keep going. And so I love what you shared. It's
Well, and here's
awesome.
the deal. Nobody gets it. I mean, this group right here gets it because all of us have been through poop.
Yeah.
That I don't even know what you've been through. I don't know what you've been through, but the fact that you're still here, I know what you've been through. And I also know the tenacity, like it doesn't matter what's going to happen. And anybody else that's in our situation would have gave up a long time ago. And I've talked to people today that are still like, oh, my wife thinks this is what we're doing. Nobody knows what we're doing. Like nobody knows what's in Missy's mind right now. Nobody knows what's in your mind. Like Jimmy, we have no idea what you're actually
doesn't
trying to
even
build.
know.
Everybody's like, oh, look at everything he's got going. I'm just getting started. And nobody realized that as a business owner that where you're at, and none of us are successful. People look at you and they think, oh, you're successful. I feel like a loser every day. I know where I want to be and I'm not there.
Yeah, people often say about success, and I've done a lot of thinking about what it is on the podcast. I talk about it all the time about what success is, and like success is only the journey of getting to success that you never actually reach. It's like the horizon. You just keep walking towards it, and you can have successful moments. You know, you can have successful milestones. You might want a Ferrari or something, but as soon as you get it, it never scratches the itch of what you want, and you just keep going on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah, and it's about moving down the journey down the road. It's not about, oh, that's the destination. Oh, I got there. We're here.
Yeah,
we're never there.
It isn't a destination.
It's a little bit of a sickness in your head, right? And so I always try to tell Trevor, because he has this where we get, if I could just have, I remember like starting to date him 11 years ago, and he's like, if I could just have 100 grand in the account. Right? That was like his number one goal. Like, if I could just have 100 grand in the account, like we'll be, and to watch how much that needle has moved.
Yeah, 100
over
grand
time.
will last you half day.
Yeah,
and then you're
and
like,
now
what?
it's like, have you ever stopped to appreciate that at some point you had that 100 grand in your account, and then you reach this? It's like he's always moving the mark, and so then he's always pushing.
The before doesn't matter anymore. So you can't scratch that itch. It just keeps
you never
going.
celebrate or acknowledge, like, okay, I've accomplished something here, and this is like, wake up and look around and see what you've done. It's remarkable.
That 100 grand isn't necessarily the accomplishment. That's what it is.
It's I'm saying as it's always moving. I'm
Well,
trying to
I totally hear
encourage
you.
him to acknowledge your point when you reach these milestones. Like I kind of force him, pause, look around.
One of the most important
amazing.
things that we do, that we have to do, and that I have to do is I have to look. I don't do a very good job looking backwards. I don't do a very good job of looking, oh yeah, remember when it was just this. Remember when it was just you. Remember when it was just this. Because I'm always looking forward and feeling inadequate and less than. Like, I don't know how long you've been going, but you probably see the vision of where you want to go. And there's days when you feel like, oh, things aren't working out. You have to step back and take a deep breath and then look at all these people that are working with your company that you're supporting, that are supporting you, and be like, I mean, even with your mom and dad, with holy cow, the business, you guys, you've got to look backwards and then be like, oh, we've actually have come a long ways. And then you got to have a lot of gratitude.
Exactly.
So this fits right in to, are we actually portraying the industry as what we should portray it as? Because I would say that there's not a lot of real talk like what you're saying out there in the marketplace. There's a lot of flashy content out there. There's a lot of podcasts that make it sound a whole lot different than what it is. And when really at the end of the day, it's a hard road, you know, like it's a real hard road. And we can all put up pictures of fancy trucks. We can all, you know, post a picture of a digger or a good job. But is that really what it is for these guys who are either out there in the machines driving them or looking to start their own thing?
Success is subjective.
Here's what I think. I think we're all a bunch of posers, and I think we're all full of crap. And I think that everybody that everybody looks and they're like, oh, those guys are doing this and this. Nobody has a clue how hard it is.
Yeah.
If any, I don't ever talk about the mental health because I don't know what it is, but it'd be interesting to take a bunch of entrepreneurs and owners and check their mental health, like check their real mental health, like get you somewhere where you really talk about what you're dealing with. Because nobody knows what I deal with.
What do you think it would be? What is everyone, do you think it would be good mental health or bad?
I think I think everybody's a little bit crazy. Like,
score poorly.
yeah, like just one step away from losing it.
Like you're nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're nuts.
And most days I feel that way. Like, honestly, last week we were talking about cutting our guys' hours back because we've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for jobs to start. And we've got all this work built up and things have been slower for like the last 3 months. And we've been trying to get our guys' hours. And now this week, the phone finally started ringing. So now we went from the stress in our belly. Like, I think not having work is a stress that you have in your belly. Your belly's kind of sick. And then when you have too much work, it's like in your head where you can't sleep. And you go from, oh my gosh, okay, we got to sell everything. To this week, like we're buying a new dozer, we're buying this, we're doing this. Now we're going to tell everybody you need to be working 6 days a week. I mean, what? No sane person would do what we do.
Why do you think you do what you do?
I don't have any other choice. Like, who's going to hire me? I didn't do well in school.
Do you think that's why you do what you do?
Actually, well, I did talk about this. This is my son Tug that's sitting here. He is the reason, because I come home and I talked about this, but he's always sad. He's got this tears in his eyes, like, oh, I'm so hungry, Dad. I need some new shoes. You need to feed me something. I'm like, oh crap, this greedy little
Sorry,
bugger.
kid, I got some dirt you can eat.
Yeah,
today.
and then I go do it again.
And what about you, Missy? What do you do?
Our why, and I shared this in my sales presentation, because I take on the responsibility of the chest pain of, do we have enough work to feed the mouths of 34 people and their families, is our people.
Yep.
And it's like, I intimately know our people. I know their kids. I know their dreams. I know the car they want, the house they want, the wrestling that they want to afford. Like, so I know that so
But how
intimately.
did that change from, there must have been a different why when it was you and Trevor, because there was no people to worry about the wrestling.
Yeah.
And so there has to be, like, does the needle move to say at the beginning, yeah, like we just want to buy our own job, or we want to do something?
Well, the why was to survive in the beginning.
Survival.
It was just total survival mode,
Mm-hmm.
like beast mode. Like, we got the machine, we have to make the payment.
Yeah.
You know, we got another machine, we have to make the payment. Now we have one person, and so you're surviving. But then I've just tried to be really intentional of taking us out of survival mode into thrive mode, and like acknowledging we've gotten here. How do we thrive here now? How do we like embrace like what we have, instead of always being in survival mode and go mode and growth mode? And it's like, let's pause. Let's do good here. Like, so yeah, in the beginning it was survival, and then it was our family. But then as we started adding people, it was just like, oh my gosh, we have these humans that are counting on us to like put bread on the table.
Crazy scary
It's
to
such
think
a
about.
heavy like responsibility. And I'll never forget, like, we had just had our third child, and I was
Why don't
so
you tell
excited.
everyone how many kids you have?
Not enough. No, just kidding.
How many kids do you have? Just
5.
5 kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot
5
of kids.
blessings. Yep.
Who wants 5 kids? Like,
Not
that's
me.
a lot.
It's a
No.
blessing.
Good gracious.
I know.
Do you have 5 kids?
I have 7.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you
So
actually have
All,
7
I don't
all
wanna
with
hear it,
all
Devin.
with the
I
same
don't wanna hear
woman.
it.
I have 1. It's
Do you
true.
actually
It's
have
enough.
7 kids?
I do have 7 kids.
How
It's
do you
beautiful.
And how do you, like,
I'm telling you, that's why I have to go to
You
work.
should see how big his kitchen is, and like his wife like cooks for everybody. I'm just like,
That's awesome.
it's amazing. Yeah. So we had just had Aubrey, our third. I hadn't had maternity leave for our first 2 kids because I had to get in and run payroll and whatever. And then now we have an office staff. So we're having our third daughter, and I'm like, oh, I get a maternity leave. We had 3 jobs lined up for the summer. We had 20 crew members at the time. They all had work, and I was like, I'm going to take a maternity leave. 3 days before we had Aubrey, 1 job got canceled. 1 day before Aubrey, the second job, they're like, we're going to push it off. And then 2 days after Aubrey was born,
Not having
Third
no
job got-
maternity
But
leave.
see, that's what I'm talking
The
about.
third job got
stress.
canceled, and Trevor sat at the bar with me because I do all the business development sales, and he looked at me like with tears in his eyes and was like, "I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to go out there and hustle." And I was like
with Aubrey.
devastated, right? Like,
That might have been helpful.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
look,
please.
my
But
kid's
you know
hungry.
what? Out of
Nappies are
survival,
expensive,
Yeah.
please.
like we're talking about like why out of survival and like for our people, I put Aubrey on my back and was like, let's go. All
You
right.
didn't go for the front pack.
Yeah. Actually, she wasn't. I have a selfie of me at a meeting with a big prime in our area where I was going to go in and hustle utility work and be like, hey, like, you see this baby right here?
Yeah, you
Wait.
better effing
I
hire
need
me.
this work. Okay. I know she's cute. So
And
yeah, Alex strapped her up and we went and sold, and that was survival.
I'd like to flick to you a little bit because you.
Why?
Well, you know, why here? Because you had a brand that was going.
Yeah.
Like, great.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a brand anymore because I believe. Well, you might still. Be
You can
doing-
speculate, and I think you'd be right.
Yeah, but you're definitely not pushing it. I'll say that instead.
Right.
And so what happened there? I know. You know, it's a.
Change in values.
And what were they?
2-year-old.
Kids,
The 2-year-old
family.
came around. The kids
Family
come
is
around,
everything.
and it
Yep.
was eating up all of your time. I think I can remember you and your missus.
Am I the only salaried W-2 employee you've had on the podcast this week?
Mm,
Is it all owner operators?
Look at the salary.
You're kind of salaried.
What do you mean?
You're future owner operator.
Oh, yeah.
trying to flick through.
Just,
Yes.
just to be fair, I didn't know there was going to be W-2 people on this podcast.
Yeah.
I might have stayed home.
I didn't know I was inviting on a W-2 up.
So
It's
the
all-
reason why I did that, that was the week I decided to stop working for myself. So, okay. So I worked for BuildWit for X amount of years. Left BuildWit, decided to do my own thing. Had our first child while I was working for myself, doing both contract media as well as running my own brand. Similar. Is that why the three of us are here? Because we're all...
Yeah.
There's
We're
time
brandies.
together. Yeah.
You're
Hey.
brandies.
Do you see
That's
how
why
well
I'm
he
like,
put
why
this
am I
together?
here? Like, I
Huh?
didn't build a
I
brand.
just put that
Like,
together.
what?
Who's the one who talks about building a brand all the time, old mate?
This is the brand group.
You.
Did you see the planning that came from Australia? These guys are
This
on
is
it.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
It's
And you
not
thought
just a
that
pretty
they were
face.
Just haphazardly
No,
thrown
it's-
together.
yeah.
You just
He's
sat
not
down
just
and
here
thought to
for his
myself, to
looks.
yourself,
Yeah.
"Hang
Yeah.
on,
He's
I
not just
also had a
his
brand."
look.
Yeah.
Did
I
you-
thought of it while I was doing a speech.
Listen, did
There
you
was
not
a
hear the
deep-
grades he got when he was in school? He
I
got
know.
scholarship to college.
I know he's smart.
Yeah,
Jimmy's
he's
very
just
Okay.
not
smart.
just a dirt
Jimmy
guy.
is very smart.
No, I'm the dirt guy.
Yeah.
I'm also a truck guy. I can
He's-
snip gears with the best of them. But bringing it back to you, because I can't lose it because you're right into
Sure.
it now.
So we were doing great. Like, I was having so much fun. I was traveling everywhere, doing all this stuff. Having a child will change everything.
Mm.
And like I was telling her on the way over, like, I don't really talk about, and I probably won't go into the detail that I told her, but like, our first child was like a very traumatic experience. Like, we were in the hospital for 3 months.
Mm.
I'm probably gonna tear up thinking about this. Like, it was bad. Like, the two of them almost died.
Yeah.
It was tough.
That'll change your
Yeah,
perspective.
that'll
very
change some
quickly.
values pretty quickly, I
Yeah.
reckon.
So
Mhm.
yeah, that was tough.
You're blessed, brother.
Mm.
We're
Definitely.
here for you.
I don't know if I should move on to someone else as the leader of the
No,
podcast
let
him-
because
let
we're all getting sad now.
So
it's good for people to hear.
Definitely, because this
Your
stuff happens to
values-
everyone out there at some point.
Your
with
values
things
have
in
to
their life.
change
Right.
because the values of our industry have to change.
Right.
To family and to children and to thinking about
And
these
to be
kind of
fair,
things.
when you go through what you've gone through, it changes everything
It
for you.
does.
100%.
And you get to a point where you understand that this is what matters and none of this other stuff matters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's actually good that we go through those times so that it gets us focused where we need to be focused.
So going through all that, we did all that, and I was still trying to put through and, you know, run my own company, and I don't know. So like August of 2024, that whole month I was on the road every week
Mm.
for 5 weeks, like just grinding, 5 days a week, traveling, different state, and like I was just missing so much time at home, and like almost got divorced, like this whole thing. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I dropped everything in September. I stopped doing the media full time. Went to work for this local landscaping company who, whole other story, but he still owes me a bunch of money. And just stayed at home. This trip to Vegas is the first time I've been on a plane in a year and a half.
Wow, and you used to be on a plane like
Isn't
every
that
week.
crazy?
Yeah. Anyone who's
Ye-
followed along your story knows that
Year and a half.
you wouldn't have ever been home.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
When you were doing your own thing with media and it became like your career and your job, did it
Yes.
suck the fun out of it? And did you miss just being in a excavator or?
Okay, so the half of the reason, why I stopped doing it was because of the family. I wanted
Right.
to be at home more. I wanted to say that every night, aside from a few events like ConExpo, I wanted to be able to put my kid to bed every
Of
night.
course.
The other half of it, the problem with being a contract media company is that you are not really part of a team. And that was so, like, for me to come out of like working for a company, it's like before I went to BuildWit, even at BuildWit, you were part of a team.
Mm-hmm.
And then to go be an owner operator and just be one guy like doing media, you're watching people build a thing that you're not part of and you're just a fly on the wall. I hated that so much.
Really?
Like it was so like, I don't know. I would get to the hotel every night and be like, okay, now I got to do this. And it's like, it wasn't fun.
Was it fulfilling?
Yeah. So like everything came together and it was like, okay, got to change something.
Mhm.
And, I tried to get back into it and I like sold myself short by going to this other company. And then, like I didn't think I had what I needed to get back into the game. And immediately I was like, okay, I could do all this. And then, yeah, landed where I am now. Should have went back, a lot sooner. Yeah. So like, it's weird. The W-2 thing, the being an employee thing. It's like, I wish some days that like I had the, like you guys have somewhat limitless potential as business owners, right? So like you can kind of do whatever you want. You can do this, that. Like the financial possibilities are endless. But like again, like I was telling Missy on the way over here, like what working for a company like this provides me is a little different. It's consistency. When I go home, I clock out.
Yeah.
5:30 at the latest, we're done, dude. Not doing it. I shut my phone off. Nobody calls me looking for trucks. Nothing.
When you're in Vegas, just
Yes.
about to do a podcast.
Yep.
No?
Nope.
That's
Nope.
just so interesting.
Had a bunch. I can show you all the emails on my phone. I'm not answering them until Monday. Nobody's gonna do anything about it.
I just imagine.
So
Oh, it keeps that's making
So-
me warm and fuzzy.
the cons, yeah, I can't. I have a cap at some point. The company I'm working for is very. They give me a lot. I can do a lot. There's potential is immense. But like, I can bid on work that as an owner operator I could never fathom.
Mm.
And I can do cool stuff. I can, we're working on a $15 million demolition bid right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
And
do
you
that.
have your wife.
And I have my
kids.
wife, and I can,
That's
there's
success.
consistency.
And you're still super young.
I don't
You
work
can
s-
always.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, even if I'm not here forever, the stuff that I'm learning now
It's amazing.
and the skills that I'm creating is something that I could never do with my own enterprise, starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And I'm part of a team, which I missed, and I'm local.
Mhm.
So
And you probably sleep good at night.
pretty
with
good,
the
yeah.
exception of
Yeah.
baby.
Well, and he brought up a good point. I know the
And-
goal is for everyone to share branding, right? And we all have built brands,
Yep.
in different ways.
Mm.
But he brings up a good point of what makes our industry better is this realization that family is really important. Taylor White had stopped me in the lobby the first night we were here, and he's like, "Who are you excited to see?" Or like, "What are your plans? Like, who do you want to talk to?" And I was like, "I just want to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Stanley.
Oh,
If I can
Mm.
find Mr. and Miss Stanley, my number one goal is to talk to them. And I was like, they're married 42 years. Their kids love the business. Their kids love them. They live within miles of each other. They're not suing each other. They're not, it's just like this beautiful, and they have a successful business to hand off to the family.
Yep.
That's a beautiful
So
thing.
I actually took your words today, and I spoke to your dad when he was on his way out.
Oh, really?
And yeah, of course. And I said to him, listen, I'd just like to say, I've watched your brand for a long time. I've watched what you do. The jobs you do are great. But Missy actually told me this morning that you have 4 kids that all work for you. All of the kids love you. You deal with them. You
It
all live
impacts
close.
you. It's
You
success.
know, you don't fight. And I think that that's success.
What did he say?
he
Oh, I
said,
thought you
"Thank you very
were
much."
going to say that.
Yeah.
His response is
So-
usually, they have a good mother.
Yeah, but
That's
mostly
the type of guy
and
he
he's
is.
like, and he actually said, "Have you met my wife?"
Yeah.
But yeah, like, isn't that something?
He gets
like,
credit for it, though. I
Yeah.
said to him, I'm like, tell me your secrets. And we ended up talking. So then my goal was to meet Mr. Stanley. And then I run into Grant Cardone in the lobby.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
And Matt had run into him the day before, and I saw a selfie, and I'm like, shut the front door. I'm like,
Yeah.
that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Even though totally not relatable to our industry, like at all. Like real estate and all
Yeah.
that. Just a different game.
Yeah.
That's very not relatable for contractors. But I run into Grant Cardone, and as I'm taking a selfie with Grant Cardone, Mr. Stanley walks by, and I'm like, I'll see you later. Like, hey, Bill. Like, and
Yeah.
I literally was like, bye. I want
see
to
you,
talk to
billionaire.
this
Deadly.
success.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
success to me is right there. And
Yeah.
he is about to sit down with me. And Bill, he sat down with me for 2 hours.
Mhm.
And we
No
literally
kidding.
had a strategy session on 1 successful family, but 2 sales and business. And it was so beautiful. I'm like, I just wish our industry, like the flashiness and the machines and and it's
Yeah.
just like, and the families,
Yeah.
like
Well,
we represent families and
Yeah.
like,
But then there's a big problem too, because you start posting up. This is like a Michelle in accounts, and this is Dave in a dozer, and this is Scott in the water truck. That doesn't resonate either.
Yeah.
Like that sort of content doesn't resonate at all. I remember I started doing that. We started showcasing all of our employees and all the workers. And then I had one come up to me and say, Jimmy, why did no one like my stuff? We gave a questionnaire. And I said, oh, it's okay. And she's like, well, you get like 1,000 likes on your stuff. And I got 8. And I went, 8's probably a little bit low, if I'm going to be honest.
but it wasn't about that. It was about
wasn't
shining
about
the
that,
spotlight
but
on
also,
them.
it's trying to show them, but
Yeah,
it
you're
turned from
important.
being a positive
Yep.
into being a negative because it's so flooded with, people doing that same, I want to tell the story of an employee. So
My guys love it.
they love it.
They love it. And they show their kids. Like,
That's the coolest thing about
they
it.
show
Yeah.
their kids. So their kid, like we did one video. We're going to do one every month this year. We did one video of one of our guys. It was like a 1-minute video of like, hi, I'm Tyler. Like this, I grew up in concrete. Now I run a machine and this is
Yeah.
what I do. And we put on YouTube. And at the Christmas party, like 6 months later, his wife walked up to me and was like, oh my gosh, the kids have watched that video so many times. Their dad is on YouTube. He has
I
like
was
He's a
doing
300
movie
one.
star.
I was doing
Yeah.
one a
Big
week to
deal.
try
Yeah.
and get through the whole company
Yeah.
in a time frame, and
It's a
that's
lot of
where I
pressure.
killed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because if I did one a month, then it's going to take a fair amount of
Yeah.
time.
You got a little aggressive there, but
Yeah,
that's your style.
He,
That's
he
the-
was just doing it to make people feel bad. You're probably doing it for a better
That's
reason.
what I ended up
yeah,
doing. Eh?
yeah.
I've
How
interviewed
come,
a,
how come half the crew quit last week? I don't know. That Jimmy had them on social media. I don't know why they're
You
gone.
know, the questionnaire, like
I've interviewed a lot of people.
Yeah, you've felt that side of it.
Anybody that says they don't like it is lying
I love it.
for pride because that's how they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love
I
it.
have found that, not to get back on a depressing streak, it's very important to document as many people that are close to you as you can, because we have several people now over the years that we've interviewed that have since passed,
Mm-hmm.
and having that footage or photos of those people
Mhm.
so
So
important to families.
special.
Like
I never
some of the
thought
messages
I
that we've
think that's
gotten over the
why-
years of people that have like, hey, thank you so much for like doing this for my dad. Like,
We have a
That's
photo
cool.
of him in the field. And,
Exactly.
I mean, it's so special.
get to
Wow.
capture that person like in their environment and
That-
be able to
that
give
is
that to
true.
the family.
I had
Yeah.
a brother died of a heart attack 2 years ago. On
And
the
you probably
job
wish you
site.
had more photos and videos of him.
It's interesting. I was going through pictures this last week and videos.
Yeah.
And I have so many videos of him doing work. And for me, it's meaningful. It's more meaningful to my mom, but that's a good point. I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that and it's also, I think, good to create a history.
Mhm.
You're kind of talking about social media and documenting. But I think it's good to create a history for your company.
So
Yeah.
I was
It's a
trying
legacy.
to find, I've got a speech on tomorrow, and I was trying to find photos of my grandpa, right? So my grandpa and his brother had a company with 200 people, one of the biggest contracting companies in my state for about 30 years. They ended up selling it the year before I was born. But we're able to find Louis, 4 photos
Mhm.
going around. One of them, he's on the front cover of a magazine
Oh, wow.
in 1955
Wow.
that comes out driving.
You gotta frame that.
You'd actually love it. He's driving one of the first drop track excavators
No kidding.
with no cab, grey and white on the front of it. Oh, we've got
That was
it.
a
'Cause
big deal back then.
huge deal. So
Whoa.
they got the first D8 delivered in Victoria, my
Yeah.
state, and
Wow.
they were big time. No photos. There
Crazy.
is really
Oh.
maybe one what do they even call
Polaroid?
it these days? Like
Polo-
a book, like
A
an
photo album? Yeah.
photo
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
Far out. I couldn't even remember what it was called. We don't have them. Photo album, just one of like 50 years of a career.
Yeah.
Because and so like it would be so great to have it. And now we post everything online. I've got
Yeah.
50,000 photos in
Yep.
my phone.
We have headshots of our guys, and the wives will message me because I have the photographer like work them because they'll go up next to the machine and
Yeah.
be like real serious, and she's like smile, and the wives will be like, "Can you send us that picture? We have 0 photos of him smiling."
Yeah.
And then I have the photo of his headshot
Yeah.
by the machine smiling. So yeah, there's a lot of value in documenting. It's a little scary because you're like, what if that person isn't with us? So my fear sometimes is like, they're great, but what if it's not a fit long term? Like, what
Yeah.
if they come and go? And I don't know. I guess I want your guys' opinion on that, but and I'm like, at the same time, let's just no risk, no reward.
I
Yeah,
don't think it
it's
matters because
overthinking a
it is
little
what
bit.
it
Put it
is
out
for
there.
that day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
So I don't know that's
They were a part of our
Yeah.
history, even if it was for a
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
even if that was the guy that you're so happy the day he quit
Yep.
and was mad at everybody.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good to have him documented so
Yeah.
you can be
Yeah.
at least
Like
that
we'll
guy's not here.
we'll go and change. Like if we have a guy that leaves, I'll go and pull him off the website if he's on the website somewhere, like in a picture. But like, yeah, if he's here, we've had that conversation. Like, oh, I don't know if we want to like take this guy's pictures. I'm not sure if he's gonna be here that
Yeah.
long. It's like, well, why the fuck did we hire him? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did we hire him then?
You're good. We'll bleep that out.
Bleep
Yeah.
that out.
Sorry, Tug.
Change it for Doug.
Sorry, sorry, Daddy brought you to a grown-up
Who's
meeting.
got the next question?
Was that my question before?
No.
Oh, I still have to do another one. Ah,
You did so well. I just
Ah,
turned to you.
Give
and I
him
got it.
another one.
Oh, it's Eric's turn still.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric, you've seen the rise of social media firsthand. And you know what I mean by that.
Okay.
And it's turned into real opportunity where there wasn't one before, especially in our industry.
okay.
What are the biggest lessons you have learned from it?
Just don't do it. If I answer this question right, can I go to the bathroom because I can have to pee?
I've said this on a podcast. I think it was Aaron's podcast, and I think it was Patrick Bet David that I heard talking about it. But from the outside looking in, I get my work ethic from my dad. I get like goosebumps when I say this, but like really, and you've heard this before. I admire hard work because of the way my mom reacted when my dad would get home late, and it was like sacred. It was like dinner was maybe it was cold on the stove, but like we all clapped when dad got home from a long day. It wasn't like, you're working too late, or she wasn't complaining. Because if she was complaining, then I would think dad's an a-hole that works too much,
Mhm.
right? So my mom's reaction to how hard he worked,
It's super important.
we thought dad was Superman growing up,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know?
I thought that work hard was admirable. Hard
Yeah.
work was admirable rather than like complaining
Yeah.
and making it a problem. If you walk in and you're tired, then it's okay because you did a hard day's work and that's good.
Right. And that could be like the simplest thing for some kids nowadays that are, what's the right word? Resent their parents because they're not there. Obviously, we were saying before, like when my dad gets home, when we were kids, cell phones weren't a thing back then. You didn't have to be available 24/7. But even now, I know when he gets home, that phone gets plugged in near the door, near the garage. I can't even get in touch with my dad after like 7 o'clock at night, so he's present.
Mm.
And I think that's a lot of what
I've
nobody's talking
downloaded
about.
an app that shuts off my phone on Sundays. So I've had it about a year now.
Hmm.
And it allows calls to come through from some people. It doesn't allow calls to come through from everyone. Turns off all
Anyone
of the
who owes you
apps.
money, it'll come through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it turns off all of those apps that just steal all of your time that you don't even know that it's stealing all of your
What's it
time.
called? Brick? Something like that?
Opal is the one I've got. It's like $100 a month.
It's
But-
worth it though.
And it's worth it
Yeah.
because my Sundays are my best day of my week now.
Yeah.
You know, you literally get to
Me
spend
too.
time with your family and do whatever, but actually be there rather than scrolling on a phone all the time.
Yep.
Because, you know, that's where we run into. You know, we can't even let the thing out of our hand because we just continually chase art.
Yeah.
So here's what I know about your mom without knowing your mom. And I just barely met you like an hour ago.
Yeah.
I know that your mom's like the most amazing woman in the world based on the fact that your dad has done what he has done and built the business and people probably know your dad. People probably look at your dad and like, oh, look at him. But your mom is the pillar behind him that's held him up. And I don't know them,
100%.
but any wife that has stayed with a husband who is self-employed and started a business is a saint and like goes straight.
What do they say? Behind every great man is a greater woman.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, I see a lot of people who are trying to run businesses. I saw one the other day on a social media, and the lady was upset. Her husband's a contractor, and she wants him to stay home in the morning and help her with the kids. And then at 10, she wants him to run the business between 10 and 5. My wife, and I've not been a good husband, but my wife has 100% supported me, never talked bad behind my back, runs books, does all this stuff. And she is the one that makes the business run. No, nobody sees her. They think it's me, and it's not. And people don't know the crud that she's been through. I mean, she has to run the business. She has to take care of the kids. She has to make sure the kids are getting good grades. Everything is on her shoulders. All 7 kids.
All 7.
And the only thing I have to do is get up and go make a mess every day, and then she gets to clean it up. So, I mean, hats off to your mom. I know she's amazing. Just the
No
fact
truer
that
words
they've
have
done that.
ever been
I have to
spoken.
link back into Eric because I don't want to miss his great question that we labored intensely over for hours. And we were going to have such a beautiful, clean cut because it was going to go from me and then it was going to go bam on, you know how we were going to edit it with the question. But now we don't have that because Matt wanted to talk. But so anyway, thanks, Matt. No
I went
problem,
pee.
Yeah, I want pee.
I went pee before
You've seen the rise of social media firsthand and seen it turned into what a real opportunity is. What are the biggest lessons you have learned apart from don't do it and I need to pee?
So, today at ConExpo, I bet you I witnessed no less than 75 media companies walking around.
Yeah.
Not even an exaggeration.
No, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. 6 years ago, it was BuildWit.
Yep.
That was it. That was the media. And you might have had like a videographer working for like a brand like Caterpillar, but the fact that you can just go start a business right now based solely on the fact that you have a camera and you have a construction company that has a need, that's insane.
Yep.
The barrier to entry is so low. And you don't even have to know anything about construction. And I think that's been huge for media. I think that's been huge for like media, but also like the industry as a whole. I said this the other day. So like, I feel like my personal accounts have been a little lower on analytics lately. And I don't think it's because of the content I've been putting out. I think it's because there's so much content now.
It's something I've brought up almost every one of these podcasts. That polished content out there now, you don't care. Like I can remember those. I was telling, who was I talking to about the videos that Eric put out today back when you started doing them? Like they were like, wow, they were great.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry, but yours is almost lost in the noise. And like you just keep scrolling because the content out there is so great that your brand, your business cannot stand out by just making good content.
That's why I got to make stupid content now.
Yeah.
I got to make dumb stuff. I gotta make
You're
like
good at that too, though.
I'm really good at making dumb content,
So
and
go
it's,
ahead.
yeah, no, I was about done, but like, yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I talked about this. I talked about this on my panel yesterday with building a following on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, those polished videos that don't perform as well anymore. Or like the example I made was like, I have a video on Instagram that hit 101 million views, and it's like a 15-second video of us doing what I do every day.
Yeah.
With just a Zach Bryan song in the background, straight off my cell phone, right? And that probably gained us like 40,000 followers, right?
And that's the things that people want to see. It's the day-to-day, like, very real content. Do
Yeah.
you know what I bought
Are you
recently?
listening, Tug?
But listen, excuse me, real quick.
Yeah.
But when I go and meet people,
Yeah.
like everyone's talking about how I rang the bell on the stock exchange last Monday.
Yeah.
That video's got 2,500 views.
Yeah, nobody cares, huh?
Yeah.
Like the
But-
most,
I didn't
the most
watch- I
impactful
didn't watch
thing
the
that you've
video
probably
of that.
done.
I have a
like,
butt to
No,
all
they're
it's a
this.
big deal.
They are talking about that, but
Yeah,
like
I'd
it's not
I'd
what got me
I
all
know
these
what your
followers.
butt is
Yeah.
because I know you. So go on,
You know
let's
what
give
I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
butt?
So my butt to all this, or however to say that, as a business developer and salesperson
Mhm.
for the company, I'm selling to Mortensen Construction, who's $1 billion general contractor.
Mhm.
They don't know who T. Scherber is. They don't know we're good at our work. They have very high standards for their production, whatever.
Sure.
I'm bidding a bid demolition for them. I intentionally know on LinkedIn and I care about the one view of that estimator who gets our
Sure.
bid and says, do these guys know what they're doing? And he goes to my Instagram and I have
I'll completely agree with
I'll
that.
produce a
100%.
video where it's like, but for me, I'm competing against companies that have been in business for 50 to 75
And
years.
so this is where I've gotten to now. Like, there's not a person in, if you're in digging holes and trucking dirt in Melbourne, you know that Starbucks will most likely be able to dig your hole or truck your dirt.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so now it doesn't matter about the estimator seeing my stuff anymore.
So
which
it
is-
matters to us.
So
Yeah.
you go through these different times and stages of your business
Yeah.
where even at the very beginning, if there's a guy out there at the moment who's thinking, I'm saying, no, don't put anything online,
Yeah.
put everything online.
Yes.
Yeah.
If there's a guy out there saying, don't make polished videos, make the polished videos
Yes.
still,
Mhm.
but it doesn't
There's a
have
time and a
this
place.
this impact.
Yeah.
You know, don't put on a full-time multimedia manager when you have 5 employees
Yeah.
thinking
Yes.
it's going to
I
get you to 10.
I think people see through that on social media too.
Yeah.
I think people like our pages because
Yeah.
we keep the main thing at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
And your stuff's clean and looks sharp.
Yeah.
Thank
Like
you.
everything.
But it does
is
look very
amazing.
good. It's high
Real sharp.
quality.
Yeah.
But at the end
Like-
of the day, it's like we gotta get this job done.
So, like you said, that one video only had 2,500 views.
Yeah,
Do you know 2,500 people? You know, maybe 20,
probably.
20,
I know it's
True,
still a lot.
true.
I
That's
still
a
lot.
it's a bad example, but like
No, I understand what you're
it's
saying.
so many people.
Yeah.
And you know, like you said, that one person that might see that. So like that's why when people they're like, "Oh, how do I get more views? I'm only doing this." Like, just keep putting stuff out there
Yeah.
and keep being authentic is
Yeah.
the biggest thing. Like, I think that's the most important
Yeah.
part of your brand, particularly, is how authentic you've been
Yeah.
about just hard work in general.
Yeah.
Or don't do it for me. I used to care about all that and
Yeah.
I don't right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I care about the brand of T. Scherber and people knowing that we're a good contractor. And so I don't care about likes. I don't care about views. I care about presence.
So
Yes.
Louis would know
post and
this.
ghost.
I very
Yes.
rarely ask about views on podcasts or
Yeah.
anything else like that.
Sure.
As our business, we got more headroom available.
Sure.
And when I would get involved, I may or may not screw up a process because I can circumvent the whole thing. So I can just say, send the truck there, but with no background paperwork. And so then a month later, everyone's like, who sent the truck? And everyone goes, Jimmy. Well, where's the PO for it? Where's the dispatch? Where's
Sure.
all of that? So I stopped doing that, which means I have less things to do. Then I'm also not going to site as much because when I go there, I'm like, why are you digging it that way? Dig it that way. But
Yeah.
I don't know about the job. I haven't seen the plans. And so I started being not as effective. And
Yeah.
so then I started doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a
Is that right,
full-blown
Louis?
podcaster.
Yeah, now I'm a podcaster and
Yeah.
a meeting man instead of going to site and say, load the trucks more.
It's about the same thing.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say some of our best performing videos on our page are nonsense.
It's the nonsense. Yeah.
Tug videoed a laser that was left out on a job site, and I think that's got like 10 million views or something, or 15.
Yours are the best for
It's
that. Like
so
the
dumb.
entertainment factor
And
is so good.
we have
Yeah.
one with me eating chicken noodle soup out of a thing. It's got
Absolutely disgusting, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
see,
But
he knows.
Listen. If you know my eating habits, cold soup's good. That's better than I used to eat. But anytime we put effort into anything, it flops.
Yeah.
And I have a really good friend. His name's Devin Graham. He has a
Please don't die.
YouTube channel called Devin Supertramp.
Okay.
And he's had millions and
He's dying.
millions. Looks like we're taking another break. Anyways, he's done commercials for the Super Bowl where he
Sure.
had a slip and slide out of the back of a plane.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him last week, and the stuff that he spends the most money and the most time on, and
always
has
flops.
the most produced,
Yep.
It performs
flops.
the least. Yeah.
And he's used to
True.
getting like 15, 30 million views. And he told me, he's like, you just need to
Yeah.
just whatever, put it
Yeah.
out there.
So I say this every day. So like I have a lot of conversations with people, and there's always these moments with, we'll call them characters in my life. And a joke will be exchanged, a conversation will be had, something will be said. And I'm like, man, I wish I was recording that. I bought this thing that I'm really excited for. I bought a used police body cam that I'm
Wow.
going to start wearing. Do you know why the police body cam is important? So we were talking.
No, I don't know.
We were talking-
How late at night on eBay
Okay.
did you buy that?
So what's that?
I said, how late at night at eBay?
I wish I had it for ConExpo.
No, it's good.
So she had the Meta glasses, and I've been wanting to get a pair of Meta glasses, but I didn't.
But no, we went with the police body
We
cam.
went with the police body cam.
Of course we did.
So there's a lot of technical specs that make the body cam important for like what I want to do. The most important thing is I can. It's got a 12-hour battery life, and it'll pre-record all day.
and you're able to arrest
So
people with it.
Yes,
Provide it for evidence.
correct. That's a big part of it, legality. But also, if I have an interaction with somebody, or if something stupid happens in front of me, like, wish I was recording that, hit a button, the last 90 seconds of my life was recorded.
Sounds like streaming.
It sounds like streaming is
I've
right,
been
isn't
wanting
it?
to stream.
But I can't
but-
stream for safety reasons.
Huh.
That's why I don't do live streams. Because the last
Yeah,
time I did one, I got in a big trouble for it.
Really?
There has
Somebody
been
did
some
something stupid.
decent drama my company has gone through because of lives, especially when they came out at the beginning.
Yes.
There has been
From
some,
the job site?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
We have
So
a guy that does live streams, and it's kind of a liability.
it's a problem. It's
Yeah.
a big liability. We
Yeah.
had guys kicked off of a job. Our company almost got kicked off of a job
for sure.
because someone was live streaming dozer pushing.
Mm. So I do have a question for you.
Mhm.
When you do your content, because your page is actually one of the cleanest pages
Yes.
I've seen. If you look at our page, it looks like goulash. Like it's just kind of everything's
Well
thrown
done.
together.
Couple ways to skin the cat.
He does the good stuff, and then
Oh, okay.
I
Oh, of
slop
course.
it up, and
Yeah.
he's like, But how do you plan out, and how do you decide what you're doing? Because if I go look at your page, everything's always crisp and clean, and it looks like it's highly produced, not in a way that like it's edited. Just everything just
Yeah.
looks like top notch, like over the top.
How do I plan it out? Is that-
Yeah. How do you
I
put
just
it
wing it.
together that you're
Shoot
just
from the hip.
videoing during the day? Yeah.
Maybe
shoot
he's
from the
just
hip.
crispy clean.
It's so
That
good.
could be.
Yeah.
That could just be his.
It does. It's sharp.
No, I
It
do
fits
think I
with the
have an eye
standard
for
of the
design.
brand, though.
Yeah.
American
Yeah.
Pavement's clean.
Yeah.
The trucks
Do you
are
put your
clean.
clothes in the dirty clothes basket? Is that
I
your-
got my laundry's going climbing up a wall.
Matt is clean. They're trying to compliment you that the feed
Yeah.
is clean,
he
the
just
trucks are
throws it
clean, your
away and
clothes are
gets something
clean.
new.
Ah, of
Yeah.
course.
It's
he only
that
wears it
clean.
once.
I mean, I guess, yeah, Missy, you're right. It's part of the brand. I mean, the
It's
trucks are always
start to
clean.
finish, front
The
to back.
equipment's always clean. That's like our stick. Our trucks are our billboards, and it's been that way since we had 1 and
Yeah.
2 and 3 and 4. And that's like the talk of the town. It's been that way for 30 years.
Yeah,
You're
it's
on
amazing.
brand.
It's like with
Yeah.
the Dietz guys, their equipment is
Right.
always
Yeah, yeah,
awesome
exactly.
and amazing.
You know, I had him on Monday, and he said something about that. He's like, because someone else said to him, like, your stuff is always clean.
Mm.
Like, it's amazing. He's like, no, it's not. He's like, but we just take photos of it when it's clean. And you're like,
Yeah.
nah, but the fact that you have the ability to take those photos, like I only get that ability once when it comes
Yeah.
off of the truck
Sure.
brand new.
Well, what's fun is I don't know how your equipment actually looks. In my mind, I think your equipment looks a little bit like ours. Some of it, like you guys are just getting pooped on, and on the
putting
back
dirt in trucks.
on the back of Deet's track hose, there's no scratches.
Yeah, I noticed that.
We got 2 brand new 330 track hose this last year, and within a week,
I've had guys just like, how do you scratch it? Taking it off of the truck.
and I want to know how does Deet's not?
It's been
just-
3 minutes.
Yeah, that's us.
Yes. Okay. Good.
And usually it's me. I got out, I kicked one of my guys' trash because this brand new machine, and he scratched the back on a gravel pile. So I called him and I said, I just let him have it. And then I was running the machine on a Saturday, and I was walking around it after I was done, and there was a dent in the side panel. And I thought,
Couldn't have been
where'd
me.
that come from?
Nah.
And then I went and walked the job, and there was one rock sticking out that had yellow paint on it, and it was me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how in the world can the Dietz guys run all their equipment and not beat it up and without fail?
It's kind of it's a culture thing, but like it's also kind of like a Northeast thing, I think.
Is it?
Big time.
Really?
Like
So I'm from the West. So that's my
Ah,
excuse.
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like
I'm so happy you said that, because in
Yeah.
the Midwest, like, you do not see it that much, like
Yeah.
this clean.
Yeah.
Like, it could be okay. It's a
So
regional.
at
And you've traveled. You're a well-traveled individual.
Yes, you
it's a
are.
Northeast thing for sure.
So at some point there's a breaking line where it just
Yeah.
starts getting beat up.
around-
It's
It's
funny.
around
Minnesota.
Maryland and
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah,
I
And the
remember-
closer you get.
As a kid, like being in an asphalt plant, and when I first got my CDL, like truck drivers, you know, and you're in the asphalt line,
Yeah.
and they're just sitting there laughing. They're like, "You're gonna wax the paint off that kid,"
Yeah.
you know, and like
Yeah.
that's what our drivers do. If you're in the asphalt plant and there's a line, like you better be wiping it down.
Yeah.
But I don't need my drivers laboring. They know that when they get hired.
Yeah.
You say if you have time to lean, you have time to clean.
Yep.
And that's like our thing.
100%.
Most
of
of
our
our
guys
always
don't.
wiping it down.
Most
That's
of our guys
awesome.
don't wear shoes when they're running machines.
We don't go
We have
that
a guy
far.
with AstroTurf.
Ooh,
Yeah,
how
we
do-
don't go
how
that
do you
far.
go
That's
with
cool.
the
I've seen that.
shoes?
Huh?
It's a safety problem on our job sites.
It is
in
a safety
Australia.
problem. It's a bit of an issue, to be honest with you, but we
Yeah.
let them do it because it's, you know, it's a pride thing. So my theory is if we tell them to stop doing it, they're gonna it's gonna go the opposite direction.
Are you
altogether.
climbing in and out of mud all day long though? Are they getting in a machine and sitting for 8 hours? Are they climbing,
No, they're
doing
in. They're
work
in.
and then hopping out?
Now we have like pipe crew guys. They don't really take their boots. We have one pipe crew. We have 5 pipe crews. One pipe crew. That guy is like not
Yeah.
getting out. But most of our pipe crew guys, their machines are a little dirtier. But like all of our grading crew, our guys, they're in. They're stuck in there. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm amazed. I have so much respect for people that can do it. And
Yeah.
and a lot of times for me,
Oh, they're drama queens. Don't
know-
give them credit for
A
that.
big thing too is like your equipment probably stays on the job, goes from job to job to job. For us, a lot of times because pavings move so fast,
Mhm.
like our machines do have a chance to get back to the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we're using the big paver one
Yeah,
day.
but you got a
That-
nice shop too.
No, that
helps.
too.
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Nice
I mean,
shop
some people don't
helps,
even
like
have a hose, right?
Yeah,
That's
true.
like
You know?
a crush
Yeah.
rock yard. I've got a real expensive
Yeah.
yard at home, but I
Yeah.
don't have enough money to build anything on it.
Yeah.
And so, like, we've got some nice crush rock down and got some containers with some
and
shit in it.
dust flowing around.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of that, but there's
Yeah.
plenty of mud too after
Yeah.
it rains. But you know, we try and wash and we try and
Yeah.
clean.
Yep.
But it's tough. It
Yep.
can be real tough, especially in winter when the jobs are because I
Yeah.
think that they've.
What's up with the no shoveling thing? Like,
Why would, they do shovel out the tracks, but you guys have to shovel them every day. Why would you shovel tracks every day?
Every day.
so
It
I
gets
can,
stuck in the track, and
Every
then,
day.
like,
And
it'll
and then
be hard,
your
and
guy
then-
runs a Trackco for a week with a frozen
yeah.
setup, and then it costs you
there
$25,000
has
to
not
fix a
been a
drive motor.
frozen night in Australia of tracks ever.
I'm moving to Australia.
Yeah.
Like I'm going
couldn't
tomorrow.
believe it. Hey, like they're like you shovel tracks, you know,
But
and I'm
you
like,
remember running our excavator
yeah,
in
no,
-10.
rubbish.
He's run an excavator. He ripped frost. He
Yeah,
had the frost
and,
tooth
and
on.
it's just it's the
It's
most
not
Everything's
painful
hard in the cold.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, like how you live in those climates, it's just a different thing. Like I
It's
walked
terrible. It really is the worst thing ever.
You're
We had a
angry,
job. We had a job this.
depressed.
We had a job this
Speaking of mental
winter
health.
where we had unbelievable Arctic temperatures. We actually made more money on frost change orders than we did for
Yep.
the actual building pad cost.
What's a frost change
Winter
order?
conditions. Winter
So,
conditions.
if
18
the-
inches of frost.
If the client wants their job done at X date, then if conditions persist and frost is a problem, they will pay us extra money
daily,
to remove frost and keep working.
sometimes twice a day.
Oh,
You
you
should-
guys are
Damn.
complaining
Wow.
about
Twice a
We
day?
actually
massive
don't
tracks
complain
shoveling
about
them.
it.
You're
I
making
complain that
you're
it's
making
so
bank.
miserable.
Yeah, you're miserable. But
Do you know how many rippers we broke
oh
this
my
winter?
God, my heart it bleeds. I'm
Oh.
so sorry. You broke rippers.
We
That
broke
must
rippers.
have been terrible for you.
So the other side to that, where we're
Change
at,
orders daily
we-
because of winter.
we do not have a frost change order with what we have. So if we're dealing with it,
Yeah,
that
that'd
just
be
slows
me.
down production.
Yeah,
and kills
yeah,
us.
yeah. You'd have to do it for free twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So you
just
want to
sad.
do all your jobs in the winter, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wait till there's frost in the ground.
Yeah.
Then we'll make a
Oh,
profit.
you're
Yes.
behind schedule. Darn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have to keep on going through the
Yep,
questions.
we have a lot of
Otherwise,
stuff to
you're not
do.
going to get them. So it's down to Missy and Matt. Which one's which? What do you want to go last on the last podcast? Bit rich, Missy. Okay. Yours is a bit longer.
I'm
Now,
excited
do you
to hear
remember
what-
yours?
I'm excited to
think
hear
it's something
Matt's,
about
and then
being-
I know it'll be
staying grounded.
inspiring. Everyone's questions and answers have been really inspiring tonight.
Growing
So-
American pavement. What have you built with, and what you have built with Raised on Blacktop? You have had a big impact on people. As it grows, how do you make sure you stay grounded and you keep your family values centered?
Well, I think that's a great question. I think the brand is built around family values. I think my faith plays a huge role in it. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Any success that I have, I give Him the glory, and so I don't get big headed from it because He's working through me. That's what I believe. I also take great responsibility if brands trust me with advertising their stuff, and when fathers come up to me at a show with their boys standing 10 toes ready to go, and they're like, you inspire my boys, like that's why I do this. I was that kid before. I think social media can get very stressful, and we talked about the wheel. Everyone's trying to go. My goal this year, it's been like the last 18 months, just be more intentional, slow down a little bit. I was telling Missy, like, I remember going on the podcast for the first time. I was so nervous.
You were so
This is like
cute. I was so
2020,
nervous.
was
Yeah,
it?
It was 2020.
Okay, now we're in like a suite in the wind. And
Yeah, someone's coming to feed you grapes soon.
Mhm.
yeah, just be thankful in those moments and slow down and be intentional. I gave you a hat earlier. When I say be intentional, that also means with like the merch that I make. I was wrestling when I first started the brand. Like, do I want every paver in the country to have a Raised on Blacktop hat, or do I want like the people who understand the brand to buy it? So that hat that you got in your room over there it's a cross, okay, and then it's a cross and a shovel, and on the side it's a Bible scripture about providing for your family. And I think that's very important. I think it's a good message, and most people probably wouldn't make merch like that, but I think that's like something fun and I wouldn't think about that if I was just restocking merch, and that comes from slowing down a little bit and what's important to me. But also, I mean, we've talked about my parents a lot, my brothers. I don't know, big family. I'm the youngest of four. It's just I'm naturally a humble person, so I think it's easy for me to stay grounded. And I also have big dreams, so anything we do, I know I was saying yesterday, this is still the wild, wild west with like branding, social media, all the influencing. I mean, we've talked about this.
Yeah, a lot.
I know everyone's doing social media now, but we're fortunate enough that we have a solid head start, because it's a lot harder to build a brand now. It's a lot harder to build a social media following now. So yeah, I mean, I just bring it back to family, really. Big family, staying grounded.
Good parents.
Good parents, yeah. Brothers keeping me in line.
The brothers usually keep the fourth
Yeah,
brother in line
yeah.
fairly well, I think.
I mean, anything I post or do, like I have a good group that I can feed content off or show them merch and say, is this corny? Is this too much? And they're not yes man. You know, I don't have a group of people like
that's
that. That's
important.
cool. You know, and like I all the time I'm like, is this too much? You know, is this post too
How
much?
do you decide what sort of designs you're going for?
With merchandise?
Yeah.
I take inspiration from outside the industry. I think everything in the industry is like every manufacturer is copying each other.
And what about
Um,
you, Devin?
Well, I'm not going to answer your question yet, so I don't lose my train of thought. But to his point on the posting stuff on Instagram, I think it's important too. It's easy for people to post stuff that it's a little, you get out of hand and it's kind of off color.
Yeah.
And
Cringy.
I think it's important. We had some stuff that we posted a while back that we're like, oh, I don't feel right about that.
Mhm.
And I think it's important to have good people around you, like your family and them. Like maybe you post something and it's off, whatever. I posted a thing one time and I didn't realize what the song said. And so I deleted it.
Hmm.
And I actually had a guy, they were like, oh, cancel Dirt Gear Co. You're falling to the man. And to what you said, it actually said there was, I don't focus very well. So I post stuff really quick.
Yeah.
And it actually said, Jesus Christ is my, and then something like horrible. And
wow.
as soon as I realized it, I was sick to my belly.
Mhm.
And somebody said, do you even know what the end of that song? And I'm like, what? It said that. So I deleted it. And then all these people just started attacking me. I've never been attacked before. And this one guy was ruthless. And I said, hey, I want your phone number. And I called him and I said, do you have any idea what that said that I deleted? And when I told him, I said, I don't care what you think, but I do care what I think. And I do care what he thinks. So again, I don't know you, but the fact I'm going to go buy your hat and
Oh, thank
because
you.
of the values and stuff that's important to me and that you value that more than just, it would be easy, especially in the construction industry, to build a really big brand. Like I could have a Dirt Gear and I've had it happen. Like I could get a bunch of girls that would be,
So do you want to know something really interesting? Some of those like in Australia, I don't know if you had them here, like the teeth whitening stuff and stuff like that. So they go out intentionally to build a brand. One of them was spending in between $100 and $200 million a year on ads.
Wow.
There's no one doing that. So their revenue went from 0 to in 3 years, 700 million. This is US, 700 million. And they spent, whatever 1 to 200,000 is of 1 to 200 million of that on ads. We're not like, it's ridiculous what other companies are doing outside of our industry.
Oh yeah.
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 For their branding, their advertising.
Yeah. For
what they
how
do
much
on
is that
social
product
media.
too?
And how
Like
much is the
nothing.
product?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
We can go on a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, and
on
so
this. Yeah.
we're sitting down and like talking
Yeah.
about that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and we're still so, yeah, I don't know if it's small or what we've done, but there's something
Yeah.
amiss when different industries are saying, right, well, we're going to invest 20 million on Facebook ads, and I'm like, I'm going to boost a post for $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's about being intentional. I remember, Misty, this has been probably 5 or 6 years ago. Do you remember there's a trailer manufacturing company that they were like had girls dressing in bikinis or
Oh, yeah.
something? You made a comment about it.
I've made a post. I like
and
posted
somebody else
myself
did.
fully clothed
So
on a trailer.
It would be easy for us to build a brand if we didn't have high values. I don't know that it would be easy, but I think it would be easy to move a lot of product and bring a lot of
100%.
people in. But when you have a value system, especially in the construction industry, and you're trying to stay elevated,
Yeah.
it's a little bit tougher road. I think it's more worthwhile, but I mean, I have a lot of respect that that's what
Yeah.
your value system is.
I've gotten given a fair amount of clothes this week. Like none of them is weird. What you gave me made it to my bedroom. You know, like because that's nice. You know,
Yeah.
like that actually is something.
It's
What were
a
you gonna say,
long
Becca?
game, but it's one that people actually will look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're just in a long game, right? And it's
Yeah.
just
And the meaningful part about providing for your family, I mean, that's what we're here for.
yeah.
It's everything.
It's everyone in this whole.
Eric asked the
room.
why. That's a great answer. It's
Yeah.
providing. It's
Um,
providing for your families. Yeah.
Just
And the
lost my
people that
train
work
of
with
So
you.
just so you know, this has been already the longest podcast because you all don't shut up. But I do have to ask, mainly you, Eric.
What?
Don't shut up.
Oh.
No, it's untrue. You've been the best. Missy, You actually get the final question of the entire
I'm
thing.
studied.
And it's actually
You're
not
prepared.
bad. It's actually a real
You're very
wrap-up
prepared.
question too. So we've done well. If you had one message for the construction world, what would it be and why? That's why you had your phone out. You looked it up and now you've written notes. That is completely unfair.
She's been
No.
shitty the whole time.
No, actually, so I do like to be studied. I'm not like, even though I shoot from the hip pretty good, but you text me at the airport and I was like, what question? And then you text me and I said, you can pick from two options. And I gave you two options, like
She actually did.
which one? Like, do you want me to talk about that?
No.
So you're saying we could have provided the question? She's getting special preference? Or what's going on?
No. She gave me two responses in a very Missy like way.
Unbelievable.
What does that mean?
You made me
Missy-like
cry,
way?
and then she gets options.
No, she gave me the option.
Unbelievable.
She's
No,
got,
and do you know what the worst part was? Is that it wasn't even your question that like we got down and dirty to. We got like
Oh.
deep into something else. But no, you can choose. It's all you. This is your moment to shine.
Okay, well, I'm not here to shine. I love to just be here with you guys because you guys are just like so special the way
Oh, don't do that to
you're
us.
building things. Well, I'm the lady in the room, so I have to
Yep.
just like bring the warm fuzzies because
Sure.
that's my job as the mom here. Yeah, I just think to close this out is a little intimidating because this
You're
is
not closing it. I'll take
Thank
the
you.
close.
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
take the close.
I'm just going to read
wanna
what
know
I
your-
said.
I just want to know
Yeah,
your
so you said
answer.
two things. So I think I want to relate to two different people because one are all the people looking at Instagram and thinking like I'm not good enough and I'm not big enough and I don't have enough equipment. And what I said was Instagram isn't real life.
Yep.
In the first 10 years, steady progression and putting it all back into the washing machine or back into the business is more important than how you look.
Mhm.
Not looking the flashiest, but being the most disciplined with every dime is how you actually scale a company that doesn't just look good, but is good from a cash and culture experience. Social media is going to seduce you into thinking looking rich and being cash poor when really you need to look poor and be cash rich for a season. Once you've been successful
Yes.
and you've built a structure and a foundation, then it's time to look good, but focus more on just being good, like
Yeah.
being a good company rather than trying to keep up
doing
with the
quality work.
Kardashians
Yeah.
on social media. Like understand those companies might be in business for 30 years. And I'm speaking from experience of I was seduced by that. Like, Trevor, we need to paint all of our equipment and we need to do all this. And he's like, I don't care how I look. I care about how much
He definitely doesn't care how
he
he looks.
doesn't
Trevor.
care.
I don't
He
know.
cares about how much cash is in the bank, right? Now, maybe when the kids get involved and whatever, like that changes. The second thing I would want to say to the industry is your customers and your crews are your stakeholders. The way you treat your customers and their experience of your company and the way your crews and their families experience your company is everything. Owners and leaders need to keep their eye on that and have a frequent pulse check on customer experience and crew experience. How are you experience our brand? What does it feel like for you? Does it feel good? Does it, customers and crews are stakeholders and like pulse checks on them and you can like really build something special.
Yes. It's a lot of
It's a great
job
answer.
done, check, cleared, move on.
It's almost like your customers are part of your journey too.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they are.
They're growing with
definitely
you.
are.
Yeah. That's cool.
I've had customers that have been around forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely forever. And they still ring me now. I've got an old man who rings me. He says,
What's up, Hollywood?
I need a truck. No, he can barely speak English, but he just would ring me and he's been ordering a truck for 15 years. And he just rings and says, get me a truck in Latham, and hangs up the phone and sends me a text with the address. I've never had to worry about his payment. I've never had to worry about it. He still calls me.
Yeah.
And when his number pops up, I still answer his phone call and say, okay, I'll get you your truck. Or, it's a bit more difficult now because now, we have more systems, which is part of the bigger challenge.
Yeah.
Because now his experience, if you were to look at it, would be shitter.
Change it. Yeah.
It would be worse because now we're saying, where are we taking it? What sort of material type do you have? When before, I'd just figure it all out for him in the background and he'd just get it built. So it's interesting that the different journey has different outcomes.
It has to change as you grow. You were going to say something. I saw.
I was gonna say two things. So one, I realized we weren't doing enough for our customers actually around Christmas time this year. When I walked into, so like our receptionist will take all of the Christmas gifts and put them in the one conference room downstairs. And I walked in the conference room like the last week of working and I was like, whoa, we have a lot of like Christmas gifts and cards. And the most that we had done this year was send out a card that doesn't even stand itself up. It like you have to put it on the fridge
Thumbtack.
to see it. And I'm looking, and I'm like, my God, these guys sent us a book. I didn't send a book out. Like that's got me thinking. Every week I'm thinking about, okay, how can we do more for our customers? And then going back to the social media thing that you said, social media has skewed like so many people's opinions of just like life in general. So I want to say this thing, it's sort of on topic, but not really on topic. I said this to a group of coal miners last week, and I want to say it here because it's a good platform, and I don't think I'm ever going to say it again, but or get a chance to say it again. I'll say it again a lot, but I was brought into a coal mine that I won't name because they wanted me to experience like what they do and show off how coal actually is. And they're doing this campaign. I don't really know where we're gonna go with it yet, but for the first time ever, I was able to go to an underground coal mine in Pittsburgh and be 850 feet underground, and we traveled 6 miles horizontally through this dark tunnel, and we got to see the men and women that mine coal. And it was an unbelievable experience. And they took us back out, and we actually had the opportunity to have lunch with these people that work a critical infrastructure job every day that provides energy and resources to people. And I said to them, because they asked me, like, they were like, "Well, what did you think of what you saw?" Or like, what do you want to say to these people? And I said to them, I was like, the reason that I was there is to change the perception of the public of what they were doing. And mining, as a whole, construction as a whole, is typically viewed as this dirty, grimy thing that people do that it's like, oh, we don't need that anymore. And the reality is, when these guys go on social media, they're just getting bombarded with hate about something that they've been doing every day their entire life. There's guys that are working in those mines that have been there for 45 years. And one thing that I always tell people is just take what you see on social media with a grain of salt, whether it's the guys with the flashy equipment that are doing the same job as you, and you're like, why don't I have the high country pickup truck? Where's my brand new cat excavator? Like, why am I doing this and not getting that? They're living a whole different life, and it may be skewed and perceived as something that it's not. They're probably in debt. They're probably not making money. Their accounts receivable is probably ridiculous. They're probably lowballing jobs. The work that these guys are providing in the mines is important and critical, and the people that are talking about it, they've never been there. They've never experienced what those guys experience. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing. And I think social media has just like perpetuated that to an extreme extent of like, it's just made things extreme in all aspects.
Yeah.
For better, but mostly for worse. Sorry, that was a tangent, but
Hopefully they see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the coal miners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But you're saying you're amazed at like what they do.
oh my God,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
With no applause.
I've never like even me, I always thought like, oh yeah, coal mining is like dirty and gross. Dude, they shotcrete the walls. There's hundreds of miles of shotcrete to keep everything in place. You're going to
Wild.
have you been to the Elon Musk bore tunnel thing, the Tesla thing?
Yeah.
It looks like that, but without the green lights, the blue lights.
It's wild.
That's how a coal mine looks. Like it's dirty at the spot where they're working, but it's a clean operation. It's unbelievable.
I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. In my mind, for some reason, I had a guy with a pick and a shovel loading a cart like
Yeah.
comes out of Bugs
No.
Bunny. You know,
No, they have
like
a
you'd
remote
go on at
control.
Disneyland.
No, they sit like this with their This is what they do.
What, they're on their phone?
No, they have a remote control
okay,
that
they're on
runs
their
the
remote.
miner. It's
You
all
have-
automated.
You have a good perception on social media,
Yeah.
and you help teach us the principle of putting it all back in the washing machine
Yeah.
rather than. And not that there's not a time and place to get there, but I'm talking
Yeah.
to those 1 to 10 year guys
So
who are
for-
feeling it,
yeah,
right?
for the 10 years, like, you know, I drove I think I had a fleet of 10 or 15 cars that were brand new, and I drove a car that was 15 years old.
Mm.
I lived in a rental property, you know, like, I would turn over, I don't know, I could turn over a few $400,000 a week, and I would worry about fixing the transmission in my own car.
Yep.
because of the fact that, I wanted to make sure I paid my bills, because there's a really long time that you haven't got the depth behind you to be able to pay your bills. Comfortably.
Yeah.
I'm talking, because the growth as you're building and building and building just eats it. You take more and more.
Yeah.
So I can remember talking to Missy, I can't remember how long ago it was. I'm like, you can pull stuff out of the washing machine, but you always got to put more stuff into it and keep it on spin cycle. Just keep it going around and around and around.
Why do I have a vague memory of you saying I'm getting off Instagram and never coming back? Did that happen like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago with you?
You're thinking of
It seemed like it was.
I don't
you're
think,
thinking of
it's
truth.
ever been me.
You're thinking of truth excavating.
Truth.
Oh,
excavating.
Chemo.
I thought
Chemo.
one time you were real frustrated. I know it was chemo, but it seemed like it's been a while. But
Yeah,
anyways.
but like
I
I
just
can see you
remember it
saying
seemed
that,
like
though.
you were going to give up at some point.
I've
That
had
could
some
be
real
wrong.
highs and lows with
Yeah.
it, and like the amount of shit that I've gotten for
Yeah.
it in my.
And here you are
industry.
in the penthouse suite in the
Yeah.
Wind,
The
Wind
Wind,
Towers,
yes.
eating grapes, and all of us here bowing
Champagne
down
gets
to you.
popped. Like we actually have some
Yeah.
like hula hoop girls
Yeah,
coming in afterwards.
you got all these people with pawns that are gonna like fan you here in a minute. Like, look at you
They
now.
actually picked me up on one of those things, and they
And
walked
they
me
should.
outside
Yeah.
to
You deserve it.
the thing.
You did a
We
great
have
job.
to finish up
Yeah,
because
you did a
otherwise
great
we're all
job.
going to be here.
This was
Does
good.
anyone have anything else that they would like to say or bring up? I always like to.
Just really quick, for anyone that's not in construction and thinking about getting into it, there's some amazing people in this industry.
Yeah.
I mean, going to these shows, like I just met you, you're an incredible person. You're an incredible person. Like,
Yeah.
this is the coolest industry. I know it's hard, but I mean, like our customers, the people we work for, like I work for older men and they're like real substantial, wealthy people, and you wouldn't know it. And they have
Yes.
such good values, and I feel like there's a lot of other industries that people can get into, but like
Yeah.
a lot of people in construction have really good values and really cool stories,
Yeah.
and it's worth going down the rabbit hole for sure.
I agree. I think there's a lot of purity and realness in this industry, and like no other. I don't have anything to compare it to, but the people that I talk to, I will say this about coming to ConExpo is you're meeting and being with people who are real, like it is the salt of the earth, and there's nobody better. To your point with the coal miners, this is my people, and this is where I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And truly, this is the people that I love, and I want to see be successful and have a good life.
Yeah.
Anything from that side of the couch?
Ditto.
I agree.
I'm just
so glad
shocked
Matt
that
said
he did so well in school. I'm shocked.
That's not
Whoa.
uncommon. It's not common.
If you look at my report cards, they're all D's and F's. And I'm like, here we got
Yeah.
this guy out killing it and scholarship
And
to
he's
school.
straight
And
A's
look at
and-
him,
yeah.
handsome,
I'm not surprised,
everything.
Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
And he's running
Thank you.
dump trucks.
Yeah,
Like
Believe me,
who runs dump trucks and had a scholarship at school? Look at you. See,
well, I guess there's no
I
better
think
way
it-
to finish it.
No,
I
It's
think-
just a-
I think you're smart, and I never doubted that you did well in school.
thank you, Eric. I
Here, Jimmy,
appreciate
this is
that
what it
much.
is. You know how the Greek gods like come and live amongst the rest of us? That's kind of how I feel
Oh,
right now.
You're taking
I
a
feel
whole
like
different
that's where we're
direction.
at.
Yeah.
I
But
had no
don't worry,
idea.
I've got my best mate sitting over here behind the camera. He will pop my head.
I
as
thought
I'm
Jimmy
getting
was
too
on the
big
same
just
level as the
soon
rest of us. And here, I'm like,
what
whoa.
a
Here we
perfect
are.
way to finish off a podcast with me getting a big head. So, thank you very much for coming.
Thank
Devin,
you.
Matt,
Thank you,
Missy,
Jimmy.
Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you guys too.
Thank
Thank you.
everyone,
Thank you.
and
Thank
thanks Sani for paying for what isn't the penthouse, but everyone is calling the penthouse that we have one room that we're trying to fit 25 people in behind the cameras. But appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share, tag people, comment, whatever else. And thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.